one thing that I've noticed time and time again with the supporters of alternative and natural therapies is, for some reason, they are annoyed about the changes from the classical Hippocratic Oath to the modern Hippocratic Oath. So I thought today we would go through both and basically see which one's the best. So we're going to start with supposedly the best version. So, I swear by Apollo, the physician and the Apicius, and Hygienia, and Panacea, and all the gods and goddesses, making them my witnesses, that I will fulfill according to my ability and judgment this oath and this covenant. To hold him who has taught me this art as equal to my parents and to my life, and life in partnership with him, and if he is in need of money, to give a share of mine, and his regard his offspring as equal to my brethren in male lineage, and to teach them this art, if they desire to learn it, without fee and covenant. To give a share of precipence and oral instruction, and all other learning to my sons and to the sons of him who have instructed me, and pupils who have signed the covenant and have taken an oath according to the medical law, but no one else. I will apply dietetic measures for the benefit of the sick, according to my ability and judgment. I will keep them from harm and injustice. I will neither give a deadly drug to anybody who asks for it, nor will I make a suggestion to this effect. Similarly, I will not give a woman an abortive remedy in a purity and holiness. I will guard my life and my art. I will not use the knife, nor even the suffers from stone, but will withdraw in favour, as such men are as engaged in this work. Wherever houses I may visit, I will come for the benefit of the sick, remaining free of all international justice and of all mischief, in particular sexual relations with both female and male persons, be they free or slaves. May I see and hear in the course of the treatment, or even outside of the treatment, in regard to the life of the man, which no account other may spread abroad, I will keep to myself, holding such things shameful to be spoken about. If I fulfill this oath and do not violate it, may it be guaranteed to me to enjoy life and art, being honoured and famed among all men for all time. If I transgress and I swear fealty, may the opposite of this, all this be my lot. So that is the classical, into the classical version of the Hippocratic Oath, and supposedly this is the version that people that prefer and sponsor alternative therapies prefer. Why do you prefer this version? First of all, you're swearing loyalty to ancient gods in the first part. In the second part, you are saying that you will pass on your skills to other people. Now, we have medical schools to do this these days, and they do it a lot better than this. Well, apprenticeship is the best way to describe it. I will apply dietetic measures for the benefit of the sick. That we no longer do, because diets do not cure people's illnesses. I can see why they're favouring it. I will neither give a deadly drug to anybody who asked for it. They get this confused. Back in ancient times, doctors were one of the only few peoples who had access to poisons. Poisons being a fairly popular way to kill people. Hence why it is, I will not give a deadly drug to anybody who asks for it. They are not referring to, as people like to interpret this now, as, you know, oh, modern drugs, they're all deadly. Yeah, no. So, let's get on then to the modern version. So this is the modern version, which again, people have problems with. Supposedly. I will swear to fulfill to my best of my ability and judgment this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians whose steps I walk, and will gladly share the knowledge as it is mine with those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures that are required, avoiding those twin traps of over-treatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is art to medicine as well as science, and the warmth, sympathy and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say I do not know, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for the problems are not to be disclosed to me that the world may know. More exceptionally, I tread with care in matters of life and death, and it is given to me to save a life, all thanks, but it may also be within my power to take a life. An awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own fragility. Above all, I must not play at God. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illnesses may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibilities include these related problems, if I am to care adequately for the sick. I will prevent disease wherever I can, for the prevention is preferable to cure. I remember that I remain a member of society with specific obligations to all my fellow human beings, and those sound of mind and body as well as the infirm. If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life, art, represented while I live, and remembering with affectionate thereafter. May I always act as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling. May I experience long and joyful healing of those who seek my help. So that's the modern interpretation, and I'm not going to lie, I prefer the modern interpretation, because you are not swearing to gods, you are not making blatant promises that you are not going to commit hanky-pankery with, male or female patients, although that is technically included in the modern oath as well. But why then the preference for the old oath? Because I don't see the big problems with it. There is not a single problem I find in this oath versus the classical oath. In fact, I prefer the modern oath over the classical oath. So I don't see why people, particularly of alternative fields, have this problem, because all of a sudden doctors swearing this oath clears up a lot of the problems that supposed alternative treatments physicians have. So there you go, folks.